Whew, welcome back. I hope you guys got yourself some nacho chips and something to drink, something to wash those chips down with and stuff, because that's right, we're back and we're going to be talking about sentry turrets today. Lewis started talking about sentry turrets last time because he was really impressed by what they're capable of doing, but also was hinting at the fact that maybe we, as a civilization, are ready to roll out our own sentry turrets.
I think when I looked at a video where it was one of these self-driving cars, okay, and all of the things that it detected, and it was a little bit like looking at one of those 80s Terminator Vision things, right, where he's walking down and it scans like all sorts of stuff around him. It's like scanning the people, and it's like, you know,
like the Predator.
Yeah, it's just scanning everything around him, like really amazingly. And it was like that for a car, and it was picking up sort of, you know, it was picking up. Obviously, it was mainly doing the distance to the car in front, but it was also picking up like civilians walking and bikes and stuff, and just like all this crazy stuff. I was like, holy crap! It's just incredible level of detection. And you know, we've got pretty fucking fancy ass cameras. I mean, look at the quality of the camera in like my or your mobile phone now. It's immense. Okay,
it used to be pretty good, but I accidentally got some syrup on it, and it's like smudged the lens. So,
well,
then I dropped my phone, and there's a big crack on the screen too.
Well,
so.
we're not going to be using your phone for these sentry turrets, so don't worry. I guess what I'm saying is that I think that cameras, with a little bit of work, will get to the point where they see better than the human eye. Okay, especially when regards to like having things like infrared cameras, you know, because you can just zoom in on sources of body heat, predator style, and that is, you know, all you do is you have
that's where we want to be. That's where we want to get to.
Sentry turret, okay, which just locks in on that stuff, and it's spooky. I think that
spooky. Yeah.
In the next war we have, when the gloves come off, okay,
yeah,
which they always do in a war.
Yeah.
Sentry turrets. Why aren't they being used already? Because they sound like they could be spooky. I mean, drones, I guess, are
kind of Gremlins,
kind of like
Mark
that.
III.
I mean,
it's like a Mark III Gremlin.
By drones, I mean the aeroplanes that are autonomous. The autonomously flown. I don't mean like a quadcopter, particularly.
Oh, right. Okay.
But I can see a quadcopter with a machine gun on it.
Yeah, imagine that. You just get like a 12-year-old kid to like fly his quadcopter into like Al-Qaeda's secret fortress, carrying a note. It's all rolled up in a parchment, and it's like addressed to the leader of Al-Qaeda. And then, you know, the quadcopter finally makes it there. He uses a GoPro on the top so that he can steer it around like the corridors and everything. And it gets to the big boss man, and he's like, "What is this?" He opens up the letter, and then boom, a little bit of anthrax comes out. Dead. Al-Qaeda's gone. That's all they got to do. I mean, I don't know why they haven't done it already.
Well, precisely. I just think they're not with it, Sips, like we are. Maybe you should be in charge of operations.
Operation Sentry Turret and Operation GoPro Drone Anthrax.
Yeah.
Is that too long for an operation name?
No, not really. I think just in terms of like where we are, the advances that we've made since the last war, I think that the robotics and things like this seem to be the most obvious, or at least, you know, and cameras too, and kind of digital, the internet. I think
digital
a lot
space.
For example, a lot of the mining that's done in these big strip mines in Australia is done from across the country. So what they do is they control it all out of a big control room. I mean, that was one of the things that Snowden said about drones, right? It was that you could literally just like look on the company, like the government company internal LAN network, and there would be like drone strikes going on, and you could just like tune in, you could just like take control. You know, it was crazy. It's crazy.
That'd be sweet. I would love that.
Waging war from an office, like hidden away. But the other thing, right, is that the other way to wage war is hacking, right?
Of course. Yeah, cyber war.
So, you know, what happens is you've got this dictator, okay, and
Yeah.
you go into his personal email account, and
Yeah. You find all of his login details for YouPorn and
that's right. And then
RedTube,
you
Pornhub.
post those on. You find the pictures,
Publicly.
the videos that he's uploaded.
You shame him. Yeah, you shame him.
And you find out his preferences for stuff. Do you know what? Actually, it's probably closer than it sounds to reality.
Yeah, no.
Holy shit! So I was watching this guy, and he asked these hackers to hack him, right? And what one of them did was one of them social engineered their way into his bank account by just getting his account details like really easily by just talking over the phone and convincing people to give him the details. And the other way he got hacked was this one guy basically sent him a spoof email. That was like extremely
about a pyramid scheme.
realistic, a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
No, he said it was spoof email. He clicked on some link. It gave him some pop-ups, and his laptop was basically taking a picture of him every 2 minutes out of the webcam, and a picture of his desktop every like 2 minutes out of that.
It didn't have like a phishing filter or anything.
It was just so easy for him for this hacker to get access. It was absolutely unbelievably easy. So I think the way he obviously he did have to. It was some sort of phishing, but it was mostly. It was done in a really, really elegant way. So
Nice.
he thought it was. He had no idea. He was totally convinced that this and what basically he'd ended up. For example, he'd like hidden a bunch of pop-ups as like weird error messages, and ended up just basically taking control of his computer, and getting when he loaded up a secure page, for example, to go to a website.
Yeah.
The hacker just could see exactly what he was doing and just replaced it with his own version of that page, like instantly. And so he just types his name and password in, and then it says like, error, your name and password are wrong, but then it redirects you to the correct page. So then you think, oh, I must have just typed it in wrong. You do it again, and then bam, he has your password, and you don't even know.
He's got your password and your bank details and everything, and he can go on to Amazon.com and order a bunch of stuff that you would never normally order, amongst other things.
I think the way they described it was that, what's the likelihood of this happening to you? Well, it's like the same, there's these mixed. He said it in such a weird way. He said, there's these master martial artists out there who could totally beat you up on the street, but they don't.
Yeah.
Right? They don't. That's what I'm like. I'm like.
Right. I can do it, but I just don't feel like it.
That's right. Why?
Nice.
But why would I do it to you as well? Why? What does that give me? Right. And so he was like, I'm much more incentivized to do something to get money, to like extort money off people. So I get the impression that the way they do it is there's a lot of, like, so this is which is one of the spooky things about like future war. It's like hacking satellites and hacking. And
these guys just doing it because they feel like doing it or not is like kind of worrying too, right?
Well, I think I think they don't just hack random people, but all the government necessarily. I think these hackers are humans like me and you, and they're driven by profit, and they're driven by, in some cases, political agendas, I guess. Like people hacking.
Oh my god.
Stuff.
What you got a jetpack, by the way.
Oh, congratulations. What does
Thanks,
that
man.
actually allow you to do?
Fly in the air. It's good.
So yeah, the big
Check
spooky.
it out. You ready?
Oh, it's amazing. So the big spooky thing about that is that they could obviously like the idea of hacking certain things like nuclear power plants or something, but I think a lot of nuclear power plants and stuff like this have their own internal internet systems or whatever. So they're kind of isolated from the rest of the world a little bit, at least the World Wide Web. But yeah,
they have a WAN.
They have do they? Yeah.
I don't know.
That was one of the things that
I've just wanted to say that.
they have a wang.
A WAN.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh. Hey, check this out.
What are you up to?
I got a heartbeat. Oh, I found like a secret area. Look at this.
Oh my god.
Oh shit! There's lots of chickens up here.
They would isolate
Whoa,
from the world.
What are these fucking guys doing? They look really fucking angry. Holy shit. Yeah, so nuclear power plants have their very own wide area networks, and you can't actually hack into them. And if somebody were to actually hack into a nuclear power plant, that would be crazy.
That
I'm sure
would,
it's
wouldn't
happened though. Yeah. Oh, these guys
Well,
are
that
really
was the big thing
actually-
about
Whoa.
Stuxnet, wasn't it? Do you remember that? In
Yes. Yeah.
one of the power plants in Iran or somewhere. They got a virus called Stuxnet all like on all their computers, which
Yeah.
it sounds spooky, doesn't it? Especially in this
sound
age
spooky,
of
yeah.
connectivity. And so the thing is, think about how much of your presence is all online too now, right? So, you know, you increasingly everything I do is online. I've got so much crap.
So much crap.
Yeah, everything though, all bank information, just everything. I don't have any physical paper even. I don't even have like statements anymore or bills. Like I have to keep. Sometimes you have to send in stuff like a utility bill, but I have them all paperless. So it's like, how do you prove where your address is?
Just
Well,
print your PDFs, man. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, I know.
What are you waiting for?
I know. I'll handle it. I've got it under
Just-
control.
Just sort it out. I mean, less QQ, more do. And by that I mean, of course, doing the
Doing stuff.
business, doing
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, not actually doing,
pooping.
not actually doing a poop on your e-statement. That
No,
would be terrible.
but you
Yeah.
could use it to. Oh no, you couldn't because it's online.
So what are you
so-
saying? That you think that we should go back to having
Can't
like
wipe
a paper
your ass
trail?
on a PDF, can you?
Well, I can actually.
You think we should go back? Well, I think we should go back to paper.
We should go back to we're gonna do away with the paperless office, and we're gonna reintroduce the paperful office. This office is paperful.
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay.
I guess I'm allergic to physical things. Maybe
You're
we'll,
allergic to PDFs.
But look at the way it's going, right? Basically, we're all just going to be living in a box with a virtual reality headset on. Okay.
Yeah.
In like a room that is augmented, like in those sci-fi films. So it looks incredible. Actually, it's like all dingy and dirty, but you can't see the dirt 'cause it's all hidden by holograms. There'll be like a robo-dog that greets you at the door, a creepy robo-robot, which
A creepy robo-robot.
cooks your dinner. You'll be watching TV that will
Yeah.
be like people. It'll be like Harrison Ford CGI to be young again, and
be like
someone else doing the
Codsworth.
voice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Harrison Ford will sell, or maybe when he dies, his son or whatever will sell his image rights. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is actually probably going to happen to a big movie company who are going to do new films with Harrison Ford in. They're going to get someone like Soundlight to do the voice. It will almost be like he's never going to die. The celebrities of today are never going to
Will
die.
never die. It's interesting with Harrison Ford because I saw him talking about Star Wars when the latest movie just came out, and people were like, how have you done it, Harrison? Like, how come you're still, somewhat, very popular and relevant, like, after all this time? You've been an actor for years and years and years. And I'd never really thought about it before. But he said, because every new generation that grows up watches Star Wars. Because ever since it's come out, it's been such a popular movie franchise. And, if you went to see it originally, you probably would have subjected your kids to it when they got old enough. I mean, I've certainly sort of shown Star Wars to my son, and he loves it, sort of thing. And he prefers the older movies, funnily enough. The ones with Darth Vader or whatever. And, Darth Vader as Darth Vader. And he said he just keeps getting these, these resurgencies of popularity or whatever, like every once in a while, because a new generation has grown up and started watching Star Wars or getting into it or whatever. And Han Solo is a pretty cool character, and you got Chewie and everything. So like, he's always just been kind of popular off the back of it. But then he's also been in Indiana Jones, I guess, which was like a very popular movie franchise as well. So it's like, it's crazy to think, eh?
I would watch more Harrison Ford movies and more Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and you know, more movies featuring my faves.
Yeah, your all-time faves. Christian Slater,
Yeah,
Judi Dench, Dame
exactly.
Judi Dench.
And
Yeah.
maybe we don't need to.
Anthony Hopkins. I'd watch a whole bunch of movies with Anthony Hopkins in them.
I think there is a certain amount of saturation that comes with these things in some ways, by which I mean after a certain amount of content featuring something, however good it is, it's good to. It can't go on forever. Very few things
No.
go on for a particularly long time before everyone gets bored of them, or they just become very repetitive and samey. I don't know how I felt about the new Star Wars film. I mean, obviously, I think it was good to see the old characters again. It felt authentic. It felt like it was set in in the right universe. Everything felt right compared to the prequels, which sort of felt all CGI bad CGI wrong.
Yeah, like too much.
But back
too
then when they were
much
being made
CGI
in like
spoils the broth.
2000, you know, the CGI was clearly CGI.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it would be that much better today, but but the new films did use a lot of CGI, but it was just a lot better. There was a time in films, there was sort of this period where everyone was using CGI, and it was just a bit bad. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
It was like, ugh, more great CGI. What did you do?
More CGI, great. Just what I wanted. Can't get enough of this
There's
CGI.
been a little bit of a trend back towards real filming as well, and less CGI, or more blending the two together. So I think Mad Max and also that Tom Cruise film. I mean, Tom Cruise, if anyone is a fucking robot, it's him. How does he look the same after 30 years?
He's been 20 for the past like 100 years.
It's amazing. Does he does Scientology collect, humans for him to like feast on?
To feast on,
I don't know.
Like Dracul.
It's spooky.
Well, anyway.
However he's doing it,
we're gonna save that one for next time. So next time on Team Double Dragon, we're gonna talk about the process Tom Cruise uses to gather up human beings and feast on their souls. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tune in for that one, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.